Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and handsome people. Not mutually exclusive. Let's.
What about the non-handsome people?
They're all handsome, James.
That's true.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, James. So, guys, we're into StarSeries XII. This is the first broadcast of 2015 for StarSeries from Face TV from me and James. And we did kick things off with Dignitas, kicking some ass. But Epsilon, they did their share of damage as well.
I think we've kicked things off already, Dan.
What do you mean?
It's the second match of the day.
It is. That's
So
what I was
it's already-
kind
it's
of. I
already
was
being
saying that
kicked
though.
off.
But I was
The
saying that.
kicking has been offed.
All right, whatever. I don't. Stop making this weird all the time. You just sit there and make things weird. And intros. Whenever you just talk.
Shall we start again? Do you want to do your intro again? I think you
No,
should do it again.
but I think we should do a role reversal next show, so you can intro and I can just interrupt you constantly with horrible stuff.
So we have Dignitas versus a team called GGWP.
GGWP. That's going to be hard for us because what do we say? Good game, well played.
We can't.
.pro.
Okay, we can't say GG because that's like company owned by Twitch now, so that would be kind of weird.
Okay.
So well, let's get to that in a minute. Let's first say these guys hail from Belarusia.
Yes.
Or Belarus.
Belarus.
They are 9% and 4% respectively on eGaming bets and CS:GO Lounge. They are a relative unknown on the big scene. So we are about to find out a lot about this team. That is a nice flag. So
that's a nice flag. That's
so
very
we
good,
have
James.
on the team we have Spaz, aka Roman, dERZKIY, and Zona. You can see their proper names if you look at the versus page on HRTV. But I'm going with Spaz Lighter because that just sounds ridiculous in a good way. We are in the pistol round though. Haven't seen any knives today.
By the way, they were previously known as 97 Club, and these guys got
I've
into
heard of 97 Club before.
Yeah, and these guys got into StarSeries through the Pro Series, so they have some experience under their belt, much like Dat did in the last StarSeries. So we'll have to see how well they can do. And in goes the upper push already, and we are seeing some frags come the way of GG well played. It's a 2-on-3 in favor of Dignitas, however, as the Danes are wrecking some T's right now. They are going to lock down the round with that upper defense, so well played to them. And that's going to get weird, isn't it, considering that GG well played. Oh, how do we do this, James? We need to decide. By the way, I like how you said at the start, nice flag, as if you'd never seen the flag of Belarusia before.
If I had, I wouldn't even know. No, I'm not an expert on flags.
Cypher's from Belarus.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. I
haven't seen Cypher's flag. I haven't seen Cypher next to a flag before, I must say. I don't know if you have, Dan, being a Quake guy, but I spent most of my time in Quake with the melee weapon.
With the melee weapon? You mean the gauntlet?
Melee weapon.
The gauntlet.
The gauntlet, indeed.
Alright, well, just cleaning up the eco here, our Dignitas, so standard stuff. The bomb did not go down in the previous round for GG well played, so they are in store for another save round. Can afford some pistols though if they wanted. Look, are they actually going to buy up any pistols? Some P50s coming into play.
I like that device doesn't have a skin on his AWP. In my inventory, I have an AWP called a stock AWP called Old School.
Old School.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the green AWP.
All right.
Best skin in the game is the stock AWP.
I sold my AWP because I wanted money for the Steam sales at Christmas time. So I also have the
You
stock
wanted money for
as
Candy
well.
Crush Saga, didn't you?
You can't get
That's
it on
the
Steam,
real
I don't
story.
think. Can you?
I have no idea. You tell me.
Alright, well, so the push is going to be coming into upper here, and then once again Dignitas are well positioned to deal with this. The bomb trying to get its way down onto that lower site. Dupreeh too fast though with the P90, and Roman actually picking himself up the M4. So can he deal some damage here with that? Go for well, he's going to go for it, but he's not going to get much. So only one player lost there by Dignitas in the space of those 2 rounds. So they have held very well onto their weapons and their money, whereas GG well played now on the buy. So this is where we get to see what this team has in store. What is their default round going to look like? Do they have any fancy nades, some set plays? What is going to happen?
We've seen a fair amount of nuke recently, actually.
Yes.
It's a map you would say fell out of favor towards the second half of last year, but we've seen, I don't know, this week, like the last 7 days, we've seen at least 3 maps on nuke already. So good to see the variation continuing here. Nice smoke kill there onto Zipnik's. Gonna get the penetration kill into Zipnik's face. We've got the wallbang attempts coming in from the outside, as you can see. Spazlighter appears to be setting himself up for a flash or smoke grenade. Is there going to be like a jumping flash? Because surely if he just left clicks, it's going to go too far. Oh, he's going to bounce it off the ceiling. That makes perfect sense. So he's going to flash for the A push from his team here. Oh, it's going to be the fake, in fact, down to ramp. Device, though, going to put a stop to that. Bomb's going to be down as well. karrigan going for the push, going to get the better of the AK that's on spaz. And 3 Dignitas players will survive, which is quite good for their economy, all things considered. 4-man push onto ramp and 3 surviving. Cannot complain, surely.
It's something that we have seen used very well by some teams, where you have those smokes going over into the upper site, and combined with that one player then who flashes as those smokes pop, it's almost indistinguishable like from if they're hitting up or not, because you just can't see as the CTs. So then that can pull one guy away from ramp, and then you can get like a 4-5-on-1. So it's a really nice idea, and they just weren't quite lucky enough with the execution, I suppose, as we have Dignitas holding on very well. Or perhaps Dignitas just read that. It's hard to see sometimes in the flurry of the nades, but it's a nice frag from Roman there onto device. But can he get the weapon? I think that's going to be quite difficult. dupreeh is on the case there over at CT main.
Yes, he is absolutely covering the access to that gun. Definitely something you need to think about when you're on these ecos. You take someone down, but you have to be careful about going for that rifle, because more often than not, they're going to expect that, obviously, and try to cover it. You can see cajunb, in fact, takes out Roman, who was approaching that weapon outside. More falling for GGWP right now, and that, again, is a good round for Dig, only losing 1 player. So, again, watching Dignitas with very curious eyes as they do go into 2015 with a new in-game leader in karrigan.
So far, it's been working out relatively well for them. Obviously, that match against LDLC for the MLG was very, very impressive. And an unexpected result. Perhaps LDLC were not ready for such a fresh take on this lineup with the addition of karrigan and the removal of Fetish, which is a significant way to change something. But there you go, device able to pick up a kill onto AKA there. So it's always this is something we're starting to see teams more cognizant of, that catwalk smoke, the outer catwalk smoke, to deny those peaks, because those are deadly. We've seen teams get completely destroyed by those, and they're already losing one with the AWP outside, and they have no real map presence at the moment. This is getting a bit rough for GG well played. They've only got they've only got 3 players left, trying to get themselves down secret. Now the bomb is actually following also outside, but his 2 teammates who are trying to get down to secret are both dead. He's going to actually pull this off. He does pick up a single frag. There are 4 players left alive, though. Probably going to try to save this AWP. There's 35 seconds left. Picks up a kill on karrigan, who's flanking him. But right now they just have to box him in by holding lobby and having someone on CT mainhead, which they do have. And XII is going to find the frag, so they do clean him up in the end. But it was a little bit of a staggered round there. You can see, I think, their default setup for like trying to get some picks here and there, spread out the control on the map, but Dignitas were just too good on the picks themselves.
One thing to think about when you're trying to save a weapon like an AWP and you have, say, an AK or an M4, if you're up against multiple opponents, sometimes it's worth trying to hold on to your normal rifle for as long as possible before picking up the AWP, so in case you get chased down, you can mount some kind of defense versus multiple opponents. Also, you can use it for baits by leaving it in an exposed position and holding an angle, so if someone tries to pick it up on your opposing team, you can cut them down and then grab it afterwards. But it is another buy round here for GGWP. They have got lots of people outside. Let's have a look at their positions. They've made it all the way through to secret. You can see Zimnix has dropped down. He's on ramp, holding an angle towards the vents here. Device just unscoped, going to spot a player around there and take him out. That's spaz. He is not doing so well outside, being standing on top of TE Red and getting taken out, this time to the side of it. Straightforward frags there for the AWPers outside on spaz. dERZKIY going to take out device, and Dignitas still with a 1-man advantage as they try to identify exactly where this bomb is going to go. Let's have a very quick look at where the CTs are. You've got dupreeh in B, karrigan holding close A main.
So they are trying to edge their way towards hell here. It's a very difficult position, knowing that Dignitas have 4 players left alive, because they've only got 3, so it's hard to like get the boost up or get the trades going into this area. So it's going to all come down to this execution. Zipnix is going to be on top though there, so no one's going to be attacking from up heaven. It's all going to be funneled through main area, and there's 1 frag, but looks like he's suicided. AK with the suicide. And that's going to be a 7-0 scoreline here for Dignitas. So pretty easy time of it so far for them.
Yes, things not going great so far for GGWP. They are on the heavily unfavoured side here on Nuke. Good thing it's a best of 3 because nobody wants to play best of 1 starting on the T side of a map such as this.
Against Dignitas as well.
Against Dignitas as well. A team notorious for their counter-terrorist side, now looking like they have a stronger T side as well.
So once again we see more of a pick-orientated start to the round here for GG well played. Also trying to wait out those grenades. We do have a bit of a push here coming in from Device up on the T container, the T red area on outside, and that's really going to help out. And we can see the flashes through the ceiling once again from Spaz. And is this team going to be better positioned in this? They're all a little bit far back for him to go for these grenades just yet. You can see him watching outside, and if Device does push a bit further, might be able to actually pull this one off in this flank. There it is, Spaz is on the angle. That is perfect placement of the crosshair. Does execute the frag. That's good stuff. There goes the flash in for karrigan. He's able to pick up the frag just as they were going to rush in. This is going to blow up the round completely for GG well played. And we'll have to see if Spaz can save something here. But I actually feel like they had a chance then if that team flash and push from karrigan didn't come in right at that moment.
Yeah, you could see they probably judged that an A push was possibly coming, judging on Spaz Lighter's position on top of the roof. Maybe if he got that pick a little bit faster, they may not have been able to see where the frag came from. And it may have stopped the push there. But it's going to be an 8-0 in favour of Dignitas. So we'll see if GGWP can get a round on the board in this first half. It looks like they're going to be on an eco. They could potentially force with Galils here, but with the money on the Dignitas side being what it is, they may want to save for the AKs. So we see the approach now on this eco. We have Deagles, P50s, CZs. Hoping to see a set play here, but that nade's gonna put people down to 13 HP, and that's a nice free frag there for karrigan. Just bad timing, unbeknownst to them, that flash coming in. And Zono going to push on his own with the bomb. And that's just generally a nice cleanup, a good hold there by Dignitas. Minimal damage done, lots of money in the bank. cajunb 16k. Someone should drop for karrigan. Only 6,000 for him.
Only 6,000. James, would you look at GG well play's money? Come on.
Yeah, but if they don't drop for him, he might not be able to buy all his nades. And that,
no.
you know, that one flashbang he doesn't have, Dan, could be the difference that gives GGWP their first round on the board.
But they are like... They just spend their entire bank, just their life savings things.
Ooh, we do have an AWP coming out now for GGWP. Looking for an opening on the ramp. But that smoke going to waste lots of time. You can see, again, Dignitas with full nades on all their plays. They've still got 4 smoke grenades to put down and just burn that clock.
dupreeh in a great position here from the stairs on Secret to actually shut down this outside effort from GGWP as they are trying to get some map control finally. And there it is. Quick frag there from dupreeh. His position has been compromised, but the smoke is going to slow them down. They can't exactly push through that. And look at this, trying to get outside with limited grenades. They are going to make a single frag, but you can see that they're getting lower and lower on their health here. Things not looking so incredibly good for them. That's a great frag from AKA, though, covering his teammate. That's going to put it to a 3-on-3. Secret still on lockdown, however. As GGWP make their way in through main slowly together. karrigan is going to lock them down. dupreeh coming in with the flank, and there is the next frag as well. 2 men left alive. I think that was potentially one of the better rounds here from GGWP. But they're going outside pretty dry here. No nades to cover, no smokes to cover them at all. So, you know, for example, we watched Dat and Hellraisers recently. Both of these teams were heavily smoking outside to avoid giving the CTs a spot that where they could actually get any picks or angels.
Let's have a look at the CTs. You can see they've got 3 CZs on the Dignitas team. So it's amazing how strongly the CZ has come back in this game with the reversion of the fire rate back to what it was. Again, GGWP just losing the numbers here. Roman last man standing outside. We're not really seeing like if we look at that, how DATs have been playing on Nuke recently, they've had the solid set plays into the A site. We've only seen one with that flashbang through the roof from GGWP. I'm not sure if it's just a complete strat there, although we haven't really observed how they behave inside while that flash comes in, but they're just getting cut down one by one outside. Yep. There's a lot lacking in, again, as you said, all the smokes and so on. So,
but there's another principle at play in spots like this, whereby even if they had better strats, they're still against a team that has a far higher executional ability. At least that's how it should be at the moment on paper. We haven't seen necessarily enough of GGWP to actually know or not, but if you combine like a lack of strats or decently rehearsed strats with a lack of execution, you run into Dignitas, you're going to get annihilated no matter what's going on. But we do have the push coming into ramp. Can they make this good right now? They do get the entry. In comes cajunb with a quick switch there to the CZ, or as quick as he can with the new update. And Roman now coming in. Last man, able to make the frag on the cajunb. Gets the second one as well. There's two players hot on his heels. In comes karrigan with the sprays, two of them. dupreeh as well. And that's going to be the end of Roman once again. And yeah, so that's the rough thing. This is actually what we saw from that last StarSeries. You know, they came in as the team that qualified for the Pro Series, and then they had this issue where some of the rounds you're like, oh, I can see what you're trying to do there, which we had some rounds like this for GGWP as well. But if the guy just out-aims all of you, it's hard.
I'm sorry, but I have to ring the alarm here. We have double auto snipers here for Dignitas. They've just got too much money. They need to spend some of it. Sees the jump outside. Gonna miss the shots, actually. He is versus the scout. Let's see who's going to win this battle. He's got support now from two more players. The bomb has been thrown all over the shop for some reason. The scout does end up being the champion. Zipnik, though, up close and personal with the auto sniper on ramp. Going to put a stop to that. Meanwhile, all that's left here is that scout for AKA. And that's going to be the end of that. So, again, this is, in terms of what you said about strategic superiority, it's kind of like there was a period of matches we saw in the North American Faceit League where iBuyPower were clearly just so far ahead of some of their opponents strategically that they didn't really stand a chance. And we may be seeing that here. It is 13-0 to Dignitas. Could we see the big 16-0 here? Could we see the clean sheets?
I mean, this is probably the hardest possible side across any map for GGWP to actually play against Dignitas on, because the CT side accentuates their ability to just execute, and it makes it harder insofar as you have to have very good strats and very good rehearsal, well-defined roles with a lot of practice behind it and experience to take Dignitas down.
Yeah, you could argue this
rounds.
On a T side, this requires possibly more drills than any other map in the game, apart from maybe, say, Overpass. That's looking pretty bad at the moment.
And even then, like, it still comes down to so much individual skill. That's the huge thing in this manner, and in the right places, you can make up for a lack of strats and stuff like that in those spots. But we are going to see that slowly but surely, GGWP going to be exploiting the positional weaknesses here of the Dignitas players as they overextend here and there, and they've got a favorable situation. That's a great incendiary from cajunb. Going to go wrapping around the side, doesn't get the frag, and it's going to be dERZKIY who does finish him off to win the first round for GGWP. So well played to them, getting around on the board. Dignitas still with a lot of monies to play with, so that's fine for them. And GGWP, can they put any more on the board?
I like the name of some of the weapons on the GGWP side. One of them has an AWP called Famous Last Words. I'm definitely stealing that for illegal. Thank you very much. But let's see if this will be Famous Last Words for Dignitas.
By the way,
in the last round of this half.
That jump up onto the crate there as well. We just saw Device take down AKA is trying to get the pick on Device, and that jump up onto the crate is a very commonly, like, almost pre-fire position from AWPers these days. And you never see the top of the range that AWPers ever miss that shot as well on the CT side. And it's another reason why we're seeing more smokes used outside these days. But Dignitas, they're not shy at all to go for these peeks into lobby. We see karrigan multiple rounds. He's been flashed in from a teammate. Very, very strong pop flashes here for karrigan to get the peek into lobby and to pull out the frags. And
that is not the first time he's taken down the bomb carrier in the hut either.
And it's also not the first time that he's shut down a round by doing that at the perfect timing too. So another good shot there from Device, locking it down. But and I think we said this last season about that as well. this is a great opportunity for GGWP to play some of the best teams, like in a tournament setting, because it's very different. And this is going to be stuff that they can learn a huge quantity from, even if they have to hit the deathmatch really hard and sharpen up those executional skills. They can get a lot out of something like this. So this is really, it might look like it's, okay, it is really one-sided, and it might look like it's useless, but it's really not for GGWP, who could turn around in a few months, just as that did, to become a great team.
Absolutely. But again, we don't know what to expect from this CT side. If they win the pistol, they could surprise us.
Let us hope for that to be the case. And we're already going to see that we're going to have a fast upper push coming in from Dignitas. cajunb rolling in with a Tech 9, already in with a headshot. dupreeh as well with a couple of his own. That is going to lock down the site for Dignitas. As we do have Zona coming in from the back. Can he connect to the heads with that 5-7? Another great kill from him. AKN Zona left against Zipnix and Device. That bomb ticking away. Here they go together. Coordinating this push. There's one over by the CT vents. And AKA going to try to gun him down. Does barely get him in time with the P2000. Device on the lower side here. It was all a ruse.
They've got no kit. This round is over.
That Device is going to be able to survive just long enough here. And GGWP going to lose this one. And that's going to be 15-1. Unfortunately, because it would have been really cool to see a few rounds of CT here for GGWP. But if you are a fan of GGWP.pro, the Belarusian team, then fear not, because as James did mention previously, it is best of 3.
At least Zona was able to save a 5-7 there. So he can spend the extra money on a defuse kit. He's got the only kit on his team, so he's definitely going to be a key player if Dig managed to get the bomb down at the very least. So we'll see how this goes. dupreeh going to be peeking outside. Nothing challenging him just yet. We have someone near A main as push comes into ramp. 3-man push here from Dignitas. Going to be clean entry, taking down 2. Got passive play from the CT and Hell. dupreeh going to be just looking for picks now as he takes down AKA towards back event. It's going to plant the bomb into B. Let's have a look at where Spaz and Roman are.
Yeah, it's
getting shot in the back on the ramp.
Nice frag there from Roman. Gets a second one as well. Good effort there. So, but we're going to see Dignitas take it nonetheless, and that means we will move on to Dust 2, which should be much friendlier for Good Game Well Played.pro. We'll have to see if they're going to have a better showing there. Of course, it's not going to be nearly as one-sided. I mean, okay, in theory, they could get 16-1. That's totally possible, but they'll have more opportunities. Because the problem with Nuke is that it's just like, what do you do on the T if you're just stuck on the T side? Yeah, I mean, it's rough. It's really rough for all the reasons that we explained during the full course of that map. So, guys, we'll take a very, very short little break. We'll be back for StarSeries 12 action here between GGWP.pro, the Belarusian team,
outro.
and Dignitas.